Joining us now to talk a little bit more about what's happening with the IRS, the founder of Tax Debt Consultants, Carlos Samaniego, is here this morning. Good morning, Carlos.
Good morning, JT. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for being here. So is this short staffing issue a problem at the IRS, and will this limit the number of audits free for all the tax evaders out there this year?
Probably not. Yeah, as you said, they're short-staffed. So short-staffed that they announced just a few weeks ago that they had 282 million calls last year, but only answered 11% of those calls.
Oh, my
gosh.
gosh.
They've been over 250 million phone calls weren't even answered. So, yeah, answering those questions, they're still trying to literally process 24 million tax returns from last year. So,
wow.
It's crazy over there. They're really short-staffed.
And this is all related to the pandemic and COVID, same as everybody else?
You know what? That is a big portion of it. One of the things with the whole COVID situation, most of those IRS personnel are still working from home. But it's also a couple of other things. It's they don't have the funding that they need to hire the people that they need to process and take care of the American public.
Well, Biden's basically tanked our economy in every aspect you can imagine here. And now with this whole situation in Russia and Ukraine, the energy, we're still relying on foreign sources as opposed to domestic pipelines being opened and on and on and on. So when that happens, everybody's affected, ripple effect, in masses, including at the IRS. So, I would imagine in addition to not being able to have the funding to hire people, even if the funding was there, it'd still be tough because even a lot of businesses that have come up with a way and gotten creative with their budgets to offer jobs, people are still not coming. So, and let's talk about the antiquated systems that they've got at the IRS. It's government run. I would imagine, the computer systems and everything they use to do this is not up to par with the current situation.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? You just said something. I talk to the IRS on a daily basis, and the most common thing I hear is, can we please go on hold for a few minutes? Our computers are down. We need to restart the computers. Yeah, they're using antiquated systems back from the 70s and 80s. And like I said, no funding. They can't update the system. They can't hire quality people to be able to help us. It just creates a nightmare for all of us.
Talking with the founder of Tax Debt Consultants, Carlos Samaniego, about the situation at the IRS and all of us getting ready to file our taxes again this year. With all that said, they will still audit people if the red flags are flying. So let's talk about some of the deductions that you never want to take because they will trigger an audit, some things to avoid and be careful with.
Well, a common one, believe it or not, and I still hear this, is people trying to deduct dependents that don't belong to them or fake dependents or, the brothers and sisters of so-and-so that aren't actually dependents. That's going to be a common audit trigger. Another very common one, and this is a real big one, JT, that a lot of people aren't realizing, is a lot of people are unknowingly not reporting all their income. And here's what I mean by that. You remember back in the 80s, 90s, even 2000s, we all waited for our W-2 1099s to show up in the mail. Correct? Right. We got that. We collected it. We went and did our taxes. So many organizations and companies now do that online, or they'll send you an email that document is available for download. Well, what happens with email? None of us read most of our email, or it gets lost in spam. So we go file a return, and we have a missing 1099 W-2, and then all of a sudden, we're being audited by the IRS because the IRS's computer system is good at one thing, catching missing income. So, and when they get flagged for a missing 1099 W-2, all of a sudden, you just got triggered for an audit that you never expected.
Wow. All right, quickly, your thoughts on the flat tax possibilities versus how we continue to do it.
You know what? The flat tax would definitely make things a lot simpler. However, you know what? Congress doesn't want to do anything. It just becomes a nightmare. How do we do anything if these Congress people don't get it together? And think about this. Imagine going back to your congressional district and saying, we need more money for the IRS to make them work better. Doesn't make for a very good argument.
I think the government would make more money if it was just a flat tax or a goods and services tax across the board. That way, people that don't file taxes are still paying tax when they purchase things, and the government would have more money, and we as individual taxpayers would not have to pay as much. It works both ways in a positive direction. So somebody's got to wake up to this. All right, Carlos, thank you. I appreciate you.